What's up, guys? This is Kay and this is Queen Queer. We continue from part one with the daddy issues. I think, why not? Father's Day is around the corner. Why not maybe have like a somber aspect to it? I'm kidding. No, but it's one of those topics that I feel like this is probably the best time to talk about. And continuing from part one, part two, the questions are still following. I further asked my friends, do you think that the way you are in relationships in terms of expectations, the type of people you date, and how you act in these relationships has anything to do with the lack of a proper father figure presence or not? And
I don't know. I feel like for me, it plays a part because of my father showed me love. My father showed me respect. My father was always there for me. My father literally could do anything just for me so that I can be happy. So the role I play in most of my relationships, I give my all. I try to do my best. And whenever I cannot do something, I tell the person that, listen, I want to do this for you, but unfortunately, I cannot do this after this week. It will take me a month or 2 weeks or a year before I can do that for you. So, yes.
I identify as a bisexual girl, and so obviously that means that I have been in relationships with both genders. And I don't think that the way I am in relationships, in terms of expectations and the types of people I date and how I act, has anything to do with the lack of proper father figures in my life. Because, like I said, I had a pretty decent childhood while growing up. I had a lot of male figures surrounding me, and even though I didn't know my biological father, it never really felt like I'm missing a part of me. It never really felt like I have daddy issues, because I've always had a lot of male figures in my life supporting me and playing that role that my dad couldn't play. So, yeah, but to be quite honest, I have been in relationships with people that have daddy issues, and I related those daddy issues to the way that they act, the way that they are towards me, and the types of people that they have also been in relationships with, and also the type of things that they also expected me to pull through with. In terms of dating guys, I have been in relationships with guys that have serious daddy issues, and because of that, they ended up being abusive. They ended up being extremely abusive because that's what they grew up being exposed to. And yeah, it had a terrible impact on them, so much that our relationship came to an end because of such things. And with girls, I don't think it has really been an issue for me, but I have sat down with the girls that I dated, and they have confided in me about the issues, the daddy issues that they have, but it has never been a factor for us to actually call it quits and break up.
Regarding dating, I've already mentioned in the previous VN, but yeah, you would find that initially when I came out and when I was, putting myself out or positioning myself out, for dating, I would always pick elderly guys, or I would always pick guys who were financially well off, to try and replace this void that was in my life that had been left by my father. Because then, to me, I thought the idea of dating someone who is elderly, he must be a provider, he must financially support you, he must emotionally support you, and things like that. So it didn't turn out as I thought it would, because then I ended up finding myself falling in the hands of predators all the time. I'm not blaming them, because I also actively took part in positioning myself to date these guys. But I think those were some of the reasons that I was looking for when I was looking for someone to date. I was looking for someone who was elderly, who was financially, stable, who could be able to take care of me, because then in my mind, I think there's just that, subconscious mind, I guess. There's just a system that probes you to say that, you know what, I need to replace the void. I need to fill in the void that was left by my father. So I think it really affected, the way I saw relationships, because I thought, you know what, someone must provide for you. And then people would dangle a carrot in your face, and then you will gravitate towards that carrot. They will let you see what they want you to see, because then they've figured out exactly that this is a very vulnerable child, and urata, financial support and things like that. They dangle the carrot, you fall for it, then you fall prey for that. So for a very long time, it has really influenced my dating choices.
Whoa, well, that was a load full. I'm sure you guys by now have figured out that maybe I also grew up in a single parent situation and environment. Um, does daddy issues play a big factor for me? No. For all I know is that women in my family have been raising kids for generations as single women. And my mom would always say, I don't really need a man. So yeah, like I kind of grew up very independent without relying on anybody. But I think sometimes that independence comes off a bit too strong when I'm in relationships, and sometimes I just kind of like don't compromise whatsoever. Because I'm like, oh well, you just here to compliment me, you don't complete me. And then there's other people who, especially women, there's other women that say, oh, but I need my man. And you kind of think, but how were you living before this man came into the picture? So it really just depends on the person you are, what you want to take out from life, where you see yourself going, how you are, what you think. Do people, a lot of people have this thing of but to wrestle team. So man, like even ladies who are in relationships right now because they feel like they need this man in order to be the father in the house, it's troublesome, because now you are sacrificing your own happiness so that the kids can have a father, while in the background this guy is doing all sorts of things behind your back or to you. So man, I just want to say that to all the women that are raising kids without the fathers present, look here, the next question that I asked my friends to answer, which is, what do you wish men, and especially fathers, knew? And or do you have any advice for them, including and especially the new dads?
Yes. The only advice I'd give out is that do not live through your children. If you couldn't be a pilot, do not force your child to be a pilot. If you couldn't be a medical doctor, do not force your child to be a medical doctor, because in most cases, if a child's not happy, nothing's gonna go as planned. The child's gonna have anger issues, whatever case may be. So the only thing is that let your child be, but teach them our responsibilities.
I just want to add on to this is that what I've seen is that, especially in black families, especially if the guy is gay, fathers will definitely take this boy to the mountain, thinking, he's gonna be a man. And just because he goes to the mountain doesn't mean he's gonna come back down and have changed have done like a full 180 in life and all of a sudden become straight. The parents would be like, you cannot be gay. How can I give birth to a gay person? How can I, I cannot raise, I've never raised a faggot. Yeah, but I mean, it's not about how you birth this person or how you raise. It's just, it is what it is. Someone's preference is exactly what it is. Man, it's just, you know what? Let me just continue with what my friend said.
What I wish men and fathers knew was that their daughters actually need them more than they think. Because there's always a misconception related to how girls need their mothers more and guys need their fathers more, you know. But in the world that we now live in, you see single mothers raising their sons, and you see single mothers raising their daughters, you see single dads also raising their daughters. And so it's, for me, it's very important that fathers actually realize how important it is for them to constantly and always be there for their daughters, because sometimes as daughters we don't really need our moms. Okay, we need them, but some issues that we go through actually need them as our fathers to pull through, and for our mothers to actually step back and, you know, just let the father be there for once, you know. And it's always great, because for me, I felt extremely complete, like I said. So I just wish they knew how badly their daughters need them.
My advice for fathers is fathers, love your children, man. You know, it's as simple and as easy as that, to love your children. Even if your children are different, even if your children deviate from the norm or from the standards that have been preset, you know, for you when you're growing up, when you're being raised. Sit down with them, have conversations with them, and try and understand them as your children. It's really simple. Sit down with the children, ask questions, involve yourselves, get engaged, you know, try and understand your children and support them. You find that even as growing up, you know, you find that your children already, when they're growing up, you can see what they like, you know, some of the things that they like to do. You know, don't force them to go and engage in activities like your hardcore football because you want to try and make them masculine, you want to try and change them. Understand them, love them, have conversations. From conversations, you're able to learn and find common ground and establish ways of helping each other to grow. So many fathers are missing out a lot on raising their children because they ostracize their children, they discriminate against them because then they present as different from the idea that they have of what a boy child or what a man should be. And you miss out on the fun of raising your child. You know, you miss out on the fun of connecting with your child because of preset conditions and standards from society. So, my message is just simple: love your children, have conversations, sit down, talk.
Well, my advice that I'd give to dads is that, it's never too late to kind of go back to your kid and be like, you know what, I'm sorry, I missed out on 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. How can I fix this with you? How can we better our relationship? I'm sure no kid wants to be orphaned or just be raised by the mom. We all aspire and wish we had that relationship where the household is two parents in one home raising us and living happily ever after. But that is not the reality that most of us go through. My advice for you dads is that this whole thing of being like, no, I'm just gonna have this kid and leave this kid with this baby mama, this have countless baby mamas, that shit is not on, guys. Like, I mean, when that nonsense that you did comes back to bite you, then you'll be like, oh shit, but then I shouldn't have done that. And then it might have already been too late, whereas maybe another man will be raising your kid and only now then you want to step up. No, that is not ideal for anybody. So this concludes part 2 and our topic for daddy issues. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, all the new dads, all the old dads. And this is Kay, this is Queen Queer. Peace.